Hi, once again, welcome to the Karate Training Centers. I'm Coach Marty Martin. I'm here with John Johnson, and we're going to be talking today and in the next lesson about principles that are involved in Kenpo set karate. And in this lesson, I want to talk about blocks, and in the next lesson, I want to talk about parries. And I think there's some fundamental things that we need to cover that are going to make you aware of why the principles of Kenpo set karate work, particularly in self-defense. One of the things that I want for you to remember, and this is something that I teach all of my students, and that is I want you to always think of your blocks as strikes. Blocking is going to change your opponent's body position. If you have an effective strike, you're going to change your opponent's body position. And in Kenpo karate, those changes are the things then that we want to respond to with the appropriate strike and the appropriate follow-up. And after you've been in the Kenpo system for a while, you're going to discover more and more that all of the self-defense techniques that we have, you can take pieces of those techniques and use them in other areas and other techniques, and that's what makes the technique system so special, is because we have this wide variety. What we want to talk about specifically today are blocks as strikes. Now I'm going to use two blocks specifically to keep this sort of as a short lesson, but we're going to talk about the inward block and we're going to talk about the extended outward block. Now you'll hear me talk about the inward block as a hammer. Some of you in the Kenpo system may have been taught the inward block from two different positions. You were taught the inward block from this high chamber position, bringing the block across the body. You may have been taught from the belt position, coming up at a 45-degree angle and shooting your block in there. You were probably also taught in blocking that you're going to utilize the whole forearm. You were taught about uppercase and lowercase. All of those things have a degree of validity, and again, depending on the situation you find yourself in, self-defense techniques and tactics dictates what you're going to do. When I talk about the hammer, I'm referring to the inward block, whether I'm shooting the inward block from this position and I'm striking here, or I'm coming from here and I'm blocking. My primary weapon that I strike with is my fist. Kenpo means fist law. I want you to use the analogy that came out of the Infinite Insights, and that is the hammer. You wouldn't try and drive a nail into a board by hitting the head of the nail with the shaft of the hammer. So you're going to hit with the fist. Now, what did I say at the beginning? Blocking is striking. Blocking changes your opponent's body position. That's the meat of what we're going to talk about for the next couple minutes, so let's get into that. All right, remember that I also teach you that I want for you to position yourself in your ready stance in the guard. I want John Eddie to change positions because I'm going to work on this side so I can talk to the camera. John Eddie's going to be throwing a right punch at me. When I'm in the guard position, when I shoot my inward block out there, I want to strike with the fist to the forearm, and look what I did. I'm working on changing body position. I'm not here like this and moving my body out of the way. I am changing my opponent's body position. I am changing their position, creating openings. Okay? So John Eddie's in a fighting position. We're fighting. When I strike, I want to turn that body. I want to change his body position. That's what creates openings. That's what gives me a position to start utilizing the body of my Kenpo techniques. Let's look down this green and blue line. You can see when John Eddie throws the punch, okay, what do I want to do? I want to strike with my block. I want to strike. I want to shoot my block out there, and when I do, I create a change in his body position. If I had something as simple as a hidden step when I strike, look what I've done. Changed and complemented my angle. Now I have that whole area to work. If he starts to move, I read his body changes. If I see his weight shift for kicks, if I see the shoulders turn for a back knuckle strike, if I see him try and change position in order to regain his angle on me, I can read all of that because I did what? I used my block as a strike. I changed his body position. All right? Now, John Eddie's going to stay in the same spot. I'm going to shift sides, okay? If I'm in a fighting guard on this side and the punch comes, and the punch is coming straight down that fighting line, if I just come from here and I don't hit hard, or I use a block and this punch keeps coming, okay, I haven't created any advantages. If anything, maybe I've made myself in a worse technical position, because I teach my fighters to fight with both hands. John Eddie's coming at me with the next shot, and he has a chance then to come right in there. I did not do anything technical. I did not change my angle. I did not change his body position. So when I go with this strike, I'm going to hit from here. Notice what I did. I changed the body position. At the same time, I took a step here, so not only did I shift and open this up a little bit, I changed the angle here. So now when that punch comes, and remember, you can't track. You know, beginning students try and track, their punch goes off like that. Once a punch is committed and it's being given with some authority, it's not going to change position. So off my strike here, I already have my checking position here, so when I come from this position, boom, again, I've already come, boom, I'm already in position in order to follow up with my Kenpo techniques. Blocking should be striking. Blocking should create changes in body position. When you create changes in body position, then you're able to apply your Kenpo techniques more effectively. All right? We looked at it from the outside with the hammer. We looked at it from the inside with the hammer. I want to do the extended outward block now. Remember what that is. That's this block here. We see that in Kata Short 2. I teach it in Building Block Set 2 as a fundamental block. Let's change sides, John Eddie, so we can see. Now, if you've studied any of my Kenpo teachings, you know that I also talk about wild type swings and different kinds of punches, and that's what we're going to work on here. Technically, this could be out of the technique ram's head. Go ahead and change sides. John Eddie's going to come with a wild overhead swing. I've seen people that do an extended outward block. I haven't changed any of his body position. He's coming in with full force. From that position, if he were to follow with an uppercut into my body, I'm going to have to smother block. I have left myself open. Why? Because when I did my block, I did not create any body position changes. So what I'm saying is, and what you're going to see when we go to the straight line angle on this, when I use my extended outward block, I am changing and opening his body position. So from here, from my guard, boom, I strike with that hammer again, striking here, and driving that shoulder open. Changing his body position, okay? He is not really in a position when I change and check that shoulder back to come with that uppercut as smoothly. A small change in that is going to offer me the opportunity, so when I come from this position after I've checked this off from here, remember when we taught you things like arm hook? I come with a fan and into an arm hook, and now I've completely changed his body position. He's at a disadvantage. I'm in the advantage position. Let's look at this from this direction. Okay? Now, again, watch the upper body. Watch the upper body. I'm going to block incorrectly the first time. I'm here, John Eddie. Okay? Look at his body position. It has not fundamentally changed. I've left myself open, to be hit with an uppercut into the body area, right? All right, now, difference. When I strike properly, boom, I drive that shoulder back. You saw his head move. His hand didn't even come to position for the uppercut yet. He didn't come for that follow-up. That got dropped. Let's try it again. Come from your fighting position, overhead strike comes. Boom, when I drive that back, this whole body position changed. If he were here, this is a straight shot. In this position, all I have to do is shift again a little bit, and again, I've created an advantage position. If I come with something like my windshield block, now I'm in position for myself to set up some of my counter techniques, and you will be able to flow into those things that we teach you in the body of our various Kenpo set techniques. Fundamental lesson here, I want you to think of your blocks as strikes, and I want you to make sure that those strikes create changes in your opponent's body position.